what did you ever want the most for Christmas? Like, what present did you have to have? Otherwise, the world might end.
I really wanted a Super Nintendo. Like, it just looked like it would change everything for me. I don't know. I wanted it kind of bad.
Cherry.
I don't think I have an answer for that. Like, I can't. I
Was
don't
it
know.
was it that you just knew you were going to get what you wanted, or that you just didn't? You would never like it was just saying.
Maybe that.
It is what it is.
I don't know. I did always get what I wanted. So
Oh.
maybe that. I don't know.
All
I
right.
can't think of anything where I was like, oh my God, I have to have it. I was always like appreciative of what I got, but like,
Okay, Jamel.
I'm kind of with Cherry on this one. I can't think of a specific item that was like that I was pining for, that hard. Definitely got some really dope gifts. And there were things I wanted, I put on the list, but I can't think of anything that was just like, oh my God, I'll die if I don't get this for Christmas.
yeah.
Well, this
I can't think of anything I would have been like if it hadn't come. I don't think I would have been disappointed. It just would have been like, oh well.
this cold open was a bust because I don't really got one.
Y'all,
either.
y'all,
Wow.
y'all,
Why do you? So you pick a question yet again. You picked a question you don't have an answer to.
hold up now.
It's not
Are
about
y'all-
me. There's three
hold up a
people in
second.
front of me.
So hold up. Now I just look greedy.
I mean, I was going to say me and Cherry were
Y'all,
raised right, but
y'all three, y'all were just
No, I was broke, so I didn't expect anything
Oh.
ever.
the card out.
So I didn't set myself up for disappointment. So it was a whatever I get is whatever I'm going to get. And the one time I did get something huge, I didn't see it coming, and it was a Nintendo 64.
Awesome.
so Nintendo. So what?
So
Hold up.
it's me and you versus
See?
them.
I had one Nintendo system, and then it was PlayStation, so all the way down.
I will say the best. Maybe I should ask the best Christmas. How about that? Let's do a second one. What's the best Christmas y'all ever got?
Christmas or Christmas gift?
I guess there is two different questions.
Yes.
Gift, I guess.
Okay.
Well, we're back on Nintendo. 1 year, my parents got me the action set.
What's
And
that?
I was the action set was it came with Duck Hunt and the I think it was called Track and Field and Mario, and then you got the light gun and the power pad.
Nice.
I was quite literally the coolest kid on the block for at least 4 months.
Okay.
Everybody was like, he got the power pad, even though nobody used your feet on it.
Power pad, man, great idea, but bad execution. I think it was just
It was too early.
ahead of its time.
All right, Cherry.
Yeah, I still don't have an answer.
What? No
Like-
favorite gift you ever got?
My favorite gift was my car, but I got that when I graduated from college. It wasn't a Christmas gift. He narrowed me down to Christmas. So like, I don't have like oh my God, this is the best Christmas gift I ever got. Like, I don't have one.
I'm a pencil in a gift I got for her then. I don't know which gift, or just any one of the gifts I got. What was the last thing I got you? Some Jordans?
That was not a Christmas gift. That was a birthday gift.
Shit. No, it's Christmas because you wore them to KatsuCon at the same time I wore mine. It was just early. It was like an early Christmas gift where I was like, just count as early.
I've always thought they were a birthday gift.
Well,
On
Janelle?
the first day of Christmas, don't you like it to me? Days.
I think I must have been like 6 years old. The Fisher Price 3-in-1 tournament table came downstairs. This
I
thing was sitting
remember
here,
this.
freaking huge.
No,
We
I remember
have
those.
You remember this?
Mhm.
My younger brother could barely even see over the top of it. It was table tennis, table hockey, and pool table all in one.
I definitely
thing
remember the commercials for that.
Was dope as hell. I don't think I asked for it. It was just there in the living room that morning. Unforgettable, unbelievable present.
I haven't thought of that forever, but I do remember the commercials immediately. That's
Right?
strange. Oh man,
Okay.
now I want one of those.
Mine, it wasn't one specific gift. See, that's why I had Christmas in mind. But she got me, it was a Wii U book of lists, because I like making lists. So things I can make lists of. Popcorn. It was some other nerdy stuff, and then like we had like money left over to buy an Xbox. So Xbox One. So I got a Wii U and Xbox One at the same time.
Well,
I feel like I should have gone last.
But anyway, on that note, thank you for joining us today. If this is your first time with us, we're the secret group of brown kids. Who are the secret group of brown kids? It's a secret. But you might be able to find us conducting a large-scale manipulation on everyone around us to clandestinely obtain what we covet the most, which may or may not be a BB gun. My name is Tiff Zilla, your host, and on this podcast, I make my friends watch movies with me and talk about their feelings. And on the panel today, wants to lead the glamorous life, Jamel.
What's going on, guys?
Don't need a man's touch, Cherry.
Hello again.
Without love, he ain't much, Tim.
oh my goodness. Sheila? Sheila?
Yes.
Christmassy, I guess.
If I was good at if I was good at drums, I would do one of the drum lines. But okay. And the movie of the week is continuing our Christmas watch. Actually, wrapping up our Christmas watch is A Christmas Story, 1983. If you don't know what it's about, because everyone has seen it at this point, I guess everyone has an opinion on it. In the 1940s, a young boy named Ralphie Parker attempts to convince his parents, teacher, and Santa Claus that a Red Ryder 200-shot BB gun is the perfect Christmas gift. And honestly, I've seen this movie 35 times now. I said it in the previous episode that we have a tradition of watching this when TNT or TBS does a 24-hour marathon where they just loop it. And this started when I started dating Cherry, and it's her favorite Christmas movie. So she showed it to me, and then I, got indoctrinated. So now it's our tradition, and like fell in love with it right away. I've never seen it before that, and 35 times seeing this movie, I finally realized this is a slice of life. Like that plot is only like 20% of the movie. We're just watching like the last 2 weeks up to Christmas for this little boy and the shenanigans he gets into. It's like Napoleon Dynamite. Like, and if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, in like the Western world and like Hollywood, people think movies that don't have plots are bad. Where in the East, in Japan, it's totally a thing. It's just called a slice of life. We're just watching folks live their life for a certain amount of time. And it's a whole genre over there. But over here, we're told if something doesn't have rising action, falling action, climax, yada, yada, like it's a bad movie. So slice of lives don't really exist over here. Or if they do, they don't look at it that way. And like, I've always said Napoleon Dynamite is slice of life. And people are like, no, whatever. Because like, if you look at the plot for that one, it's like, oh, a boy helps his friend get elected to student council or whatever. It's like, that's less than a third of that movie. Yeah. It's just a thing that happens along with other things that happen. So like, this is a slice of life. Anyway, came out in 1983, theatrical release. It was a November release, so it was a Christmas movie, just like we did Jingle All the Way, because Christmas movies don't always come out at Christmas. So I thought it was worth mentioning. But you could currently stream it on HBO Max if you haven't seen it, or you can wait 28 hours and watch it for 24 hours nonstop on TBS and TNT.
What was that service you said?
Oh, it's on HBO Max.
What?
Or Max. Shut up. Shut up.
Bad. Okay, no, I was just making sure we understood.
And look, I'm sorry. You say that you whispered HBO. HBO Max.
I whisper HBO every time.
HBO Max. Next name is going to be Cine.
Soon to be Paramax.
Oh, God, right.
But that's one less thing on my queue.
Good God.
Yeah, maybe. That's the silver lining outside of monopolies, right? Is one less.
Hey, we thought Disney was monopolizing the game and taking everything over.
I mean, they are. They're trying. We're down to like 6.
They had like 5 flops in a row. What happened?
They're losing the momentum.
You know what happened is they trained their audience to wait 2 weeks for it to come out on their streaming platform. That's what happened.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened across the board. That's why everything's flopping. So moving on. Why this movie? Like I said, it's a Cherry and Tiffzilla tradition. And I'm including y'all because you guys are. Glamorous Life drumroll, please. Family. Thank you, Sheila.
Ohana.
Mary Chrysler.
Family. And directed by Bob Clark. Do I know who Bob Clark is?
Who directed Porky's?
Thank you. All right.
Wow.
Hey man, the man contains multitudes.
And it's written by Gene Shepard and Lee Brown. And Gene Shepard, like, it's based on, like, I guess it's anecdotes. That's why it's like kind of all over the place. He's also the grown-up voice of Ralphie. I never knew that. So the like the narrator.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Budget, because this is 1983, $3,300,000. That's like the 10th billed person's fee now. Anyway.
You gotta pay Timothy Chalamet $10 million to get out of bed.
Shout out Timothy Chalamet. That's funny to me because usually they mess up the last name. Also, your name is Timothy. Timothy Chrysler Building. Box office 20.7 million. International 13,000. Why is that even there then? Total for 20.8 million. I guess that's why that knocks it up.
So the 0.8.
Yeah.
Talking about a world where international wasn't really on the table as often.
Yeah, that's true. They probably didn't even clock it half the time back then. Yeah.
International is like Canada.
Yeah.
Side note, now Canada is included in domestic. Canada and Puerto Rico.
They're basically us in a way.
Canada?
Dang.
I mean,
that's not our country, though.
You can't say that. 25% of our audience is in Ontario. Shout out Ontario.
But like Canada is not owned by the United States.
Wait, I feel like is what I'm saying. Like,
I guess what it is
y'all family, Canada.
Yeah,
in the neighborhood, I suppose.
Family.
Y'all a little cousin up north, all right? We both,
don't say little.
Kicked England to the curb.
We got 25% of our audience is in Ontario. Shout out Ontario. So yeah, Rotten Tomatoes audience 79%, critics 75%, and we see that all the time with old movies where the audience and the critics eventually get real close. Does that make sense to y'all?
This one seems fine.
All right. Then real quick before we start, actual shout outs. Well, shout out Ontario.
Ontario.
Florida, Texas, and Massachusetts been listening a lot lately.
Tejas. Cool.
All right, moving forward, we're going to spoil this old-ass movie that everyone's seen a whole bunch.
If you have not seen this movie by now,
go watch on
What Is It Like Being 20?
That's true.
So I saw this movie for the first time last year.
Hey.
Well, I've got some students who have seen it before.
That's because you showed it to them.
No, but I mean, look before.
That's why we bought the DVD.
I give them a vote, and that's what they pick because they've seen it before. Like,
I got you. Okay, well, that's fair.
You guys get to vote on what movie we watch for Christmas. No. We are not watching Timothy Chalamet in Dooney.
Oh man. Side note, that is like the second most watched movie on Letterboxd.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Sandworms, I hate them.
Freaking movie nerds.
So real quick, how do we feel about it? I'll start with Sherry.
You've already said twice. It's my favorite Christmas movie.
I mean, but I didn't want to talk over you.
I think I don't know. It's not maybe because it's a slice of life. I really enjoy slice of life movies. And I like slice of life in any genre, anime, movies, books, whatever. I just think it's hilarious. His life is just, I don't know.
It's just shenanigans.
It's a lot of shenanigans for no reason.
Yeah.
Like there's when I was filling out the template, I realized there's more quotes than plot. Everything they say is a joke. Every line is a joke or in service of a joke.
Yeah.
Every single line. And I was like, that's pretty brilliant when I think about it. Like how hard it is to write that. Like everything in this 90-minute movie is a joke. But yeah, Tim?
It's different to see it through older eyes. It's a movie that I haven't seen myself in about 2 years, but every scene change I knew what was happening because of how many times I've already seen it. but just actually trying to be like, let me sit down and watch this critically instead of let me put something on for as an excuse to have eggnog. Like or TNT is on. So yeah, like it still holds up. And like there's other little idiosyncrasies about the family I picked up on that I just hadn't noticed before. So it's fun. It's still a fun movie.
35 times and I'm still catching new things. Weird, right? Like 35. Anyway, like this time, this is the first time I realized it's slice of life, and then like there's some jokes that I didn't catch the first ones because I'm actually watching with the subtitles on. But yeah, Jamel.
So yeah, I didn't grow up watching this. I literally have only seen this movie twice, and the first time was I think last year or two. So no real nostalgia goggles for it. It's pretty good.
Damn it!
What?
When I asked you to be on the episode, you were like, "I don't fuck with this movie, but I'll be on it." And I was like, "We got us a villain of the episode."
I mean, I could still be the villain in that, you know.
I was getting ready.
I'm not like that enamored with it. Like it's watching it last night. I think it turned the corner for me as something that I can see you just having on. You know,
yeah, like it's
you don't have to pay any attention to it. So many times, like you said already, like this movie is just there's so many memes. You know?
Yeah, it's just goofy. It's just goofy.
I was just the what's his name, Leonardo DiCaprio. Ooh,
yeah, now you're catching this.
Like it is. It's kind of like how I watched Star Wars for the first time way after, you know, I knew all of the beats of that movie. So it's just like, okay, oh yeah, that part. Oh yeah, that part. Oh, that was the context for that. And watching it last night, I think caught a couple things that my dad, who apparently loved this movie and didn't share it with me.
Is that funny? I don't know. I laughed.
I don't know. I was talking to my mom, and she was like, "Oh yeah, your dad loved that movie." I was like,
"Oh, really?
First time hearing of it." I'd bring it up with him, but he's not around. I don't want to get dark on a Christmas episode.
Talk about our feelings.
It's Christmas. You get dark as you want.
He didn't leave me. He passed away. Is that less sad? More sad.
No, I'm sending you an e-hug.
We all got it coming.
No, that's all good. But yeah, no, it's cool.
All right, well, that surprised me. I was like I said, I was bad guy Jamel.
I mean,
I knew it. I've been trying to tell the people, but you won't let me get it. All right.
There's nothing really to hate about it. It's fun.
Tell that to Lola. I still didn't ask why she hated the movie. When we were on the Boxing Day episode, I mentioned it twice that this was the next episode.
She was like, I'm not going to
be on it.
I was like, what? Oh, whoa.
She also didn't fuck with the movie. I was like, all right.
It is nostalgic for Christmas from an era I can't even really wrap my head around. So
I mean, yeah, 19
not, you know.
But you know, it's like removed from that. They even added a couple black kids in the class when there definitely would have been segregation, like segregated schools. So
a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have any lines, but
I mean, there were definitely a couple of black people he shot with the BB gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fancy.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Half of Black Bart's gang.
I initially went into the movie thinking to myself, wow, there probably aren't a lot of black people in this movie. And the first two on screen are criminals in the little boy's dream.
Technically,
that's what you think?
They were carolers. The second people on screen.
Well, and in all fairness, the Black Bart is from like his favorite like radio show or whatever.
Black Bart, huh?
Actually, I think the weirdest thing about that part too, I mean, we're just skip forward to it. I don't think they were actually black.
No,
first.
They were. Everybody was dirty, but then if you pay attention, two of them were black. Yeah.
Okay, the whole time I was looking too, I was like,
but the white guys were like dusty in the face too, so it was like, hold on. But there's a part where because Black Bart gets away, but his gang is dead. And the camera holds on him for a few seconds, and you can tell that two of them. Yeah. Are you laughing at how he got away? How he bounced over the fence?
I was just thinking like they just literally had X's on their eyes.
This stupid little
today,
shit like
the kid
that.
with the hero complex wanting to shoot up a bunch of criminals in his backyard, that's a red flag for me.
Hey man, it's not just this movie.
Today,
Ralphie, like Second
I'll give
Amendment.
you get a pass in 1940, but in 2023, I'm like,
Oh, I got you.
okay,
got you.
well,
Well, yeah, let's go through it. This goofy ass movie. But once again, I know without pissing off the diehard folks too much because they're loud. For us, it's not Christmas until Ralphie puts on his bunny costume. But that's another thing I always
Or until
notice.
the Bumpus' dogs steal the turkey.
It's another thing I noticed, like aside from the setups, because every joke has a payoff, or every setup has a payoff. Like looking at other characters on the screen, like that aren't talking or whatever, like their reaction sometimes is even funnier than the joke. Especially the dad. Like, so he doesn't always say something, but there's times where he's like, "What the?"
There's so many like. Oh, go ahead.
Canadian standoff, huh?
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead, man.
I'm sorry. You go ahead. Pardon me.
I'll take it.
Shout out Ontario.
The moment you were talking about with the with this bunny rabbit suit, I was looking at Dad's face while Mom is like, "Oh, your aunt gives you such nice things. Oh, that's great." And Dad is like, "Oh, hell no." He won't say it.
That's the part
his
I'm
face
remembering.
is just like, my God, this is
so she always makes you such nice things. And he's like,
I can't have my son parading around in this bullshit.
He humors it for a moment.
Yeah.
It's like, you think you're done? Take everything off.
Well, you look like
the turkey isn't done yet. He can't piss her off yet, okay? He's got
that's true. That's true.
Something I noticed in this watch that I never thought about before is there's so many scenes where they just set up how exhausted the poor mom looks.
Yeah.
At one point she's just sitting on the plain out floor on the side of the room, just like, I was like,
when I get to it, I'm gonna point it out because Cherry pointed it out to me the first time we watched the movie. I'll point it out in a second. So the story's told through the perspective of the narrator remembering his childhood, right? Specifically the Christmas season in 1940, because that's when he wanted this Red Ryder BB gun. And like the season always starts with them going into the city where the kids would see all the hottest toys that year at a department store. Did they show the name of the department store? Every time they do it, they would show across the street. And I thought but I always thought that was a different store. Because it would be like from their angle and you'd see Hickby's across the street. So I wasn't sure.
Hickby's is that whole square.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of
department store. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But
I thought you were going there. A lot of department stores would be massive that way, though.
Okay.
So it's possible that Hickby's was on both sides of the street, like just the way some of those places were.
I got you. If you're from Cleveland, let us know if Hickby's is a thing still. But
was it even real?
I don't know. I mean, they reference a lot of other real stuff, so I figure why not.
Yeah.
So the kids would always go to see what the latest toys were, right? And that's when he sees the Red Ryder Action 200 shot range model air rifle, and like instantly falls in love with it. And like immediately Ralphie starts scheming to incept his parents into getting him that for Christmas, because he knew they wouldn't just let him have a toy rifle, right? So next morning, Ralphie tries to slide the BB gun ad into his mother's magazine. Not tries, he does slide it into his mother's magazine. And then like downstairs for breakfast, he tries to figure out how he can get his parents to start talking about Christmas. But like they're already talking about, what was it? He's doing his puzzle. So this is the setup. So the dad's doing a trivia puzzle or something. And he's like, what's the name of the Lone Ranger's nephew's horse? Victor. How the hell did you know that? Everybody knows that. Is that another one of your silly puzzles? Yeah, it's another one of my silly puzzles. And it could be worth $50,000. What kind is it this time? Name the great characters in American literature. The Lone Ranger's nephew's horse is a great character in American literature.
Yeah, right.
And like Mom turns to Ralphie's little brother Randy, who like hates eating his food. Randy, won't you eat? There's starving people in China. Once again, that's another setup. And like Ralphie brings up what other kids want for Christmas or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they all just kind of look at him crazy. And then like the dad goes off to like put his coat on or whatever, and mom's like, "So what do you want for Christmas?" And he just goes for it. And he says like,
there was a bear outside of the candy store or something like
that. Yes, there's something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Tried too hard.
Yeah, he
there was no segue.
No segue. He just blurted it out
like there were lobsters coming out of his ears. Which one of us saw this movie 35 times?
Sorry. I'm bad with quotes.
I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. I'm bad at quotes.
So he blurts out the Red Ryfer BB gun, and she's like, "No, you'll shoot your eye out." I'm like, defeated.
It's done.
Then we get Ralphie's daydream where he where he saves his family from Black Bart, and he got on like his little shiny silver cowboy costume. I'm not going to describe all that because we just but so back in the real world, the dad comes back from trying to warm up the car, and the furnace starts acting up. The narrator goes, "Some men are Baptists, others are Catholics. My father was an Oldsmobile man." And Dad's like, "Aha, it's a clanker! That blasted stupid furnace!" In the heat of battle, my father wove a tapestry of obscenity that, as far as we know, is still hanging over in space over Lake Michigan. Because he cusses that much. But of course he doesn't cuss in the movie. It's a family movie. So what we hear is just fling, flang, just
Rassafressin.
Sometimes he says like actual words and names in the middle of it. Once again,
You're bad with quotes.
Like this time I caught him saying a name in the middle, and I was like, "What?" I didn't realize he actually said somebody's name.
Real quick, one thing I gotta say I noticed and enjoyed the second time watching this. Like, Dad is your very serious, kind of 40s dad, the kind who is more likely to shake his son's hand than hug him.
Yeah.
But in like the fantasy moments and the whatever the comedy spots are, like he is so like bought into it.
Yeah, he sells
the performance is really good. Like the look on his face when like Black Bart and the gang are like
they're cowering in fear.
Yeah, no, it's it's really good because he's like he's the again, like the heavy dad, the one that you're kind of afraid of. And then like in those moments, he plays it so well as being like, he's cowering under the table and being all fearful and shit.
I'm going to cycle back to that when we get to the next daydream, because that's another one of my favorite quotes. I remember that
the blind one?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and it's funny because it's like, I'm not going to say this is how Ralphie sees his dad, but this is how delusional Ralphie is. So yeah, afterwards we see the kids are heading out for school, right? The narrator goes, "Preparing to go to school is like getting ready for extended deep sea diving. My kid brother looked like a tick about to pop." And Randy's the kid brother. What is it? I can't move my arms. You'll put your arms down when you get to school. Like, he tries to, but like, what are you going to do? He's got 8 layers on.
Mom's a little upside down. Like modern day moms, like the first kid, they're super careful. They mind their P's and Q's. The second kid, you just wrap them around your leg and like walk around till they get 3 years old and go, "All right, go to work."
Also, like, Ralphie wasn't bundled up like that.
Yeah, they didn't do nothing. Like, hope you die of hypothermia, you little jerk. You ain't getting nothing for Christmas.
Ralphie's old enough to like fight back, not literally, but like,
I'm not doing all that.
Yeah.
So then, so now they're walking down the sidewalk, and he catches up with his friends. "Hey, Flick, wait up! What are you doing? What does it look like I'm doing? Picking goobers?" And then Schwartz comes out. "Hey, smartass! I asked my old man about sticking your tongue to a light pole in the winter, and he says it'll stick right to the pole." Ah, baloney. Side note, I noticed that around like my 25th watch that I started laughing at baloney. Baloney. Am I that corny?
Maybe.
Cherry's nodding her head. Yes, okay.
So,
baloney.
Side note to the side note. Am I just
yes
a goody, or does anyone else think 9 years old is a little young to be swearing like that?
He's 8.
Oh, sorry.
I did know a kid
It's
around.
perfectly fine at 8 then.
I did know a kid around 10 who he said damn and hell all the time.
It is a little young, but he's also the one who, when Ralphie gets caught saying the F word, that's who he blames it on.
Immediately.
I got it from Schwartz. Like, he's the one.
Like, immediately throws him under the bus.
Yes, immediately.
I will say I started in 3rd grade, and I think you're 8 in 3rd grade.
You are 8 in 3rd grade.
Screen Rant says he's 9, by the way.
Screen Rant is wrong. I just watched the movie. It said 8.
Fine. Doesn't hurt my point at all.
Somebody says he's 8 in the movie. I think he says it himself. But yes. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say I have to disagree with you. I'm just saying I started cussing at 8. But also, I am West Indian. That's like we come out saying, you know, like "Ras!" Like so.
8 is like West Indian 20.
Yeah, Jamaicans already got 2 jobs at that point.
Fair enough.
They didn't watch Boxing Day. They're not laughing, Tim. So moving on.
At least the Living Color skit.
One kid runs by and knocks Randy over. He's so bundled up that he can't bend. So he's like, I can't get up. And he's rolling back and forth, and Ralphie has to go pull him up.
That kid really sold that too.
Yeah. Like he's not the best kid actor, but there's 2 parts where like he really sold the thing, and it was this and then the piggy part.
Good Lord.
The rest of the time, if you look at him, like if he's not talking, he's just kind of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this part and the piggy part, like to the point where I rewound the piggy part just to laugh at it because I was like, dang, he's really like that's how kids laugh. Like when they get in that laugh cycle where they just keep making themselves laugh more.
Your own laugh is making you laugh.
Yeah, that's how my son laughs when he gets the giggles. So once in the classroom, all the kids put fake buck teeth in their mouth. This part is so gross. Put fake buck teeth in their mouths and say good morning to the teacher, Miss Fields. And she turns around and sticks her hands out, and everyone comes and puts the teeth in her hands. Now, it doesn't show it in the movie, but you know that in real life, it would just be a handful of spitty fake teeth, which would be the grossest thing ever, right? She teaches high school. So not little kids, but in that moment, she would have just made them spit it in the trash, right?
Trash.
Or put it in your own pockets. Take it home. I don't want it.
Not trying to get. I don't want them. Take them out. That's just.
Yeah. She puts them in a drawer with all the other toys she confiscated.
Uh-huh.
I remember that from elementary school. The toy drawer, everything they take from you, and you'll get it back at the end of the year in June. No.
That was a thing for you? I don't remember that being a thing.
If they took something from you, they put it into the same drawer, and you'll get it back in June.
We never got our stuff back. I was mad because a friend of mine, he wore my hat in the hallway. It was my favorite hat. It's a corduroy hat, and he took it from me, wore it in the hallway. Vice principal took it, said, you can get it back at the end of the year. I 2 years later, I am driving in my car, and this is high school. I'm driving in my car, and I see that vice principal wearing my corduroy breakdown in his little Chrysler convertible thing, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. I was so mad.
On site. Well, not on site. I'm not going to beat up the vice, but I would have ran up to him. Excuse me. Like, that's mine.
I don't think I've ever been so mad because you literally like, that's a nice hat.
You might have my story beat.
Yeah, that's wild.
Mine was there was this kid named Traylon in 5th grade or something, right? And Traylon was like the bad kid of the class. Like, you knew he wasn't going to do his work. He was going to cause problems. He's going to get sent to the principal's office, yada, yada, yada. Going to get written up. That was Traylon. And, you know, you assume Traylon's an idiot, at least at that stage, right? The bad kid is dumb. Like, that's what I thought. So, yeah, that's when I learned. So, this one, we used to go to the bathroom and trade, right? During gym. And Traylon told on us. Coach came in, took everybody cards. right? And then he gave him to our teacher, who put him in a drawer. Traylon, somehow, I guess he went to the bathroom during lunch, but didn't go to the bathroom. He walked back to the classroom, stole everybody Pokemon cards. That's some mafia shit. Like that, he's a supervillain. And when I realized what happened, I was like, this kid's supposed to be stupid. Nah, that's what I learned.
That boy, Team Rocket.
Right?
More competent.
Stole, in one fell swoop, stole the entire class's Pokemon cards. So yeah, back to Christmas Story. Fuck Traylon. So now that's when now we're at recess. And back to what they were talking about on the way to school. So he's like, well, go on, smartass, go ahead and do it. And he does, and stop, and like the bell rings and they all leave his ass because these hoes ain't loyal. I don't know, like, these are not the friends you want, because it happens twice.
They're 8 years old, though. Like, what are you expecting from them?
Look, I expect my 8-year-old to stand by his friend.
I mean, I would expect my 8-year-old to go and tell an adult. Because even if they had stayed with them, they don't know what to do to help him anyway. They needed an adult.
That's fair.
No one wants to be blamed for...
Well, yeah, they are the ones, because when she says the next part, she already knew that he just did it on his own. Or, like, he didn't do it on his own. So, like, they're leaving him because the bell rang, and Flick is like, don't leave me, come back, Ralphie, come back. And he's like, but the bell rang. So then back in the classroom, and Shields asks, has anyone seen Flick? And the narrator's like, Flick who? And nobody's answering her, but one of the girls suddenly points to the window, and like her head turns and she looks outside. Oh my God! So she goes out, and like all the kids are staring out the window except for Ralphie and Schwartz. And one kid at the window is like, holy cow, it's the fire department. And Ralphie's like, oh no. Wow, it's the cops. Oh. And Ralphie puts his head down.
Look more guilty.
First of all, everybody else standing up. The two of y'all sitting there like,
that's rude.
And also, Ralphie, it's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah. He is.
If it ain't about guns, he don't want to hear it.
Not a good friend. Kind of coward.
Oh man, so they pull Flick off the pole. And the thing about it is no warm water, no nothing. So that means they just ripped his tongue off the pole.
Yeah, just like,
right?
The man, like, a little something. Like, you just gonna brute force it off?
Yeah, you see them pull his head back. But yeah, so he comes back to class with his tongue bandaged and hanging out. And Miss Fields was like, now, I know that some of you put Flick up to this, but he has refused to say who. See, Flick is a good friend. But I'm sure that the guilt you feel is far worse than any punishment you might receive. When she's looking dead at Ralphie, and Ralphie's like, Now, don't you feel terrible? Don't you feel remorse for what you've done? Well, that's all I'm going to say. Poor Flick.
Ralphie's practically sitting there like, yeah, whoever did this,
right?
Shame on you.
Also, why does Ralphie even feel anything? He was just there like every other student. He didn't do
Ralphie didn't do it. Ralphie
technically it was Schwartz, but
Flick is his own person. Look, no one made him put his fucking tongue on that pole.
Schwartz. It was peer pressure. I said it. What did it say? Well, go on, smart ass. Go ahead and do it. They pressured, and she said, I know that y'all put him up to it.
I get peer pressure. But also, end of the day, you made your decision. That's on you.
He ate.
Ralphie could have been like, I mean, yeah, I watched him do it. I didn't tell him to do it.
But they didn't even try. They didn't, say, hey, Flick stuck out there, like what Cherry said.
Yeah. Go get the gym coach, someone who, the cool teacher you can go tell who's not going to, blow everything up.
Nah, they pretending ain't nothing happened. No. Flick could be dead.
Flick would have died out there.
Ralphie and Schwartz in there like... But yeah, so then Miss Fields, and I don't know if it was already going to happen anyway, or if this was punishment now that I think about it, but she's like, I'm going to give you an assignment. I want you to write
A theme.
I knew you were going to say it. I was waiting. Like the whole class groans. What I want for Christmas. Then Ralphie gets happy because he thought Miss Shields would sympathize with his plight and everything would work out somehow.
You didn't have to write the customary what I did over the summer, what I want for Christmas essays in school every single year until
you're right.
high school.
Yeah, so I guess it wasn't his punishment, but it's just that she revealed it like right after this.
It felt like a punishment to most of them.
Yeah, because the whole class went, oh.
Mind your margins.
And finally, after school on the way home, the boys get pulled up on by the neighborhood bullies. I always thought it was Scott Farkus, but with the subtitles on, it's Scut Farkus. Even worse. Sound like a Star Wars character. Hey man, it's Glup Shitto. We are Scut Farkus. He had yellow eyes, so help me God, yellow eyes. And his toady, Grover Dill. Mean, rotten. His lips curled over his green teeth. And he's like, and Randy laid there like a slug. It was his only defense because they started off with Randy and knocked him over.
He's that sporting.
Is that a thing? Is that just a Cleveland thing, or is this a 1940s thing, like a bully and a toady?
I never knew about the technically toady. A toady.
Bullies always have one or two hangers on. Who just
I never knew the term toady until.
Well, I mean, toady, toady, underling, mouthpiece, sidekick. You know, just simple stuff.
I heard the other stuff. I never knew toady. So it's not specific to bully sidekick.
No,
not exactly. No.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. No. I there was this big kid named Mike. Maybe I told this story on the podcast.
It's called Big Mike?
I don't think so.
Mike White thought we were related because our last name was
White Mike.
Well, he was that would be, I did.
Mike
laugh
wasn't
at that
white. White wasn't White Mike. Mike was black, but his name was Mike White. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So he was. What is the commonplace term because we can't use the R word?
Simple, slow,
mentally.
Like literally?
Was he literally mentally disabled?
He was the R word, but I can't think of what you
not
call
literally?
it. All of a sudden,
but not literally.
But no, but literally. Like, can't think of what you call it.
So he's mentally disabled.
Mentally disabled.
Okay, just mentally disabled.
Yeah.
He was large, like big. Yeah. When we were 9, I was like shorter than average 9, but he was like man-sized.
The universe is about balance.
Like my mom was 4'9", and he was maybe 6 or so inches shorter than my mom. Like he was big. So he thought we were related, and as such, he didn't like people to mess with me.
Oh.
But I was petty and turned that into a weapon.
No.
He was the Lenny to your George.
That's not petty. That's villainous.
Well, yeah. Well, so like this one kid like pushed me one time. I was like, Mike, did you see this guy push me down? And you know that guy, I think, still lives a few feet from the moon because Mike. And that went on until Mike got into football. And once he was on the football team, we didn't spend as much time together.
Now he's in the blind side.
Then people were like, "Oh
my God,
Mike's not around."
Blindside wasn't.
So, oh no,
the movie, not the real life.
No,
we all know Michael Orr
is
not mentally handicapped at all.
Yeah, they made it. They made the movie really was like, "Hey, check it out."
Okay,
but once Mike was playing football, we weren't around each other, and I got
beat up.
I got what I
finally got.
To be fair, so throughout junior high, it was like, "Oh, you by yourself." I'm like, "Oops." So, but yes, I was technically a toady because there were times when people would be making fun of him, and since he was slow, I was like making up for that. I was like, "Oh yeah, Mike might not be smart, but Micah beat you up, right, Mike?" And Mike be like, "Yeah, I'll beat you up." And I was like, "Yeah, you better watch out. We're gonna get you when we get off the bus."
We are.
That's not.
But Mike would be like, "Yeah, we're gonna get you when we get off the bus." And I was like, "This is amazing."
That's self-defense, but also
no, I was egging it on sometimes. I was not helpful.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I just looked up toady, and aside from the definition, one who flatters in the hope of gaining favors.
Okay.
To behave as a toady, engage in sycophancy, a sycophant. The etymology here is something. So just going to throw this out here real quick. 17th century Europe, a toad eater was a showman's assistant whose job was to make the boss look good. The toad eater would eat or pretend to eat what were supposed to be poisonous toads. What?
Like the chicken head guys.
Wow.
How did this get turned into this? Anyway, oh, you mean, what was that word?
You're talking about
geeks?
Geek. Yeah, I'll make you geek.
I remember that from Hey Arnold forever.
I didn't remember that from Hey Arnold. I remember that from, what was that Guillermo del Toro movie that came out a couple years ago? Something Street, Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare Alley. No, Hey Arnold, I think it was Phoebe, looks up in the dictionary. A geek is a performer who bites off chicken heads for entertainment. And so it was like, none of us bite off chicken heads. Well, except Curly. Yeah, and that was just the one time.
That show was too good.
That show was great.
Damn.
I'm good at quotes.
I see.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so back to the bullies. Really, that's it. They got away. They didn't get beat up this time, but he had said, in our world, you were either a bully, a toady, or one of the nameless rabble of victims. But yeah, then they got away. So when Ralphie got home, he writes this his theme. What I want for Christmas. What I want for Christmas is a Red Ryder BB gun with a compass in the stock and this thing which tells time. Oh, wow, that's great. I think everybody should have a Red Ryder BB gun. They're very good for Christmas. I don't think that a football is a very good Christmas present. Oh, rare have the words ever flowed from my penny pencil with such feverish fluidity.
You gotta love the narrator in this. He's really taking it
Adult
out of his
Ralphie.
young self. Yeah. Because Ralphie thinks he's a fucking genius.
Yeah, he really does. He really does. Because that's kind of the conceit of the movie is him just like, I can do this. I can trick them into getting me this gun that I definitely shouldn't have.
Absolutely not.
So next we see Ralphie's dad come home shouting, I won, a major prize, tonight, it's coming tonight. Our neighbors, the Bumpuses, had about 785 smelly hound dogs, and they ignored every other human on earth except my old man. And, like, the dogs always try to come after him after he gets home, and, like, so they kind of came, one got into the house or something, like, he shoos them away, and then he slams the door, but he slams the door on the dog's tail.
Ear.
I think it was an
on his ear.
Oh, it is ear, yeah.
On the dog's ear, and you hear the dog whimpering, and so he goes over and he opens the door and like shoos him away, and he's like, serves you right, you smelly buggers.
That was graphic too. I was like, dang.
Ouch. So they sit down for dinner, and the dad's all excited that the prize is coming, right? And the narrator says, every family has a kid that won't eat, and my kid brother Randy hadn't eaten voluntarily in over 3 years. I think Randy's like, what, 5, 6, maybe?
If that, yeah.
Yeah, and because he went to school with them, so I'm assuming he's at least in kindergarten.
Well, yeah, at least kindergarten.
Yeah. And then we get Cherry's, not her favorite part, but this is what she pointed out to me about the mom. My mother hadn't had a hot meal for herself in over 15 years, because as soon as she goes to sit down, somebody else wants something. So, like, at some point, she was like, look, I'm not going to be Ralphie's mom. When we're talking about, like, when our kid came, I'm not going to be Ralphie's mom. Yeah, I'm going to eat when y'all eat, too. You're not going to have me like this. So, it's back to what you were saying about how the mom is always worn out.
Just beat.
Yeah. So back to Randy not eating food, the dad's like, Randy, I'm gonna get a screwdriver and I'm gonna crank your mouth open and shove the food in there. And then the narrator's like, well, my mom was better about it. So she looks over at Randy and she's like, Randy, how did the little piggies go? And he goes, oink, oink. And she was like, and what did the piggies eat out of? Out of their trough, right? And so he slams his face into his food and just starts eating it and laughing. And his mess everywhere, but he's eating the table eating too, and his shirt's eating too, but at least stuff is going in his mouth and all over his face, and he's just laughing. It's the funniest shit ever. This is what I mean. Like, the kid sells it, and because I think he's just genuinely laughing. Like, this is so funny to him, and he's, you know, that little kid giggle, the giggle loop where they're stuck in it forever, just and he's snarfing and oinking and it's snorting and oinking, and and like the mom is so tickled by this, and then when they show Ralphie and the dad, they're like, ugh! They don't make any noises, but just their faces is just like, especially the dad. The dad's really just like, this is the nastiest shit I've ever seen in my life.
But he clearly can tell this is what needs to be done. This is what needs to
be done. So he doesn't protest it, but he's just like, oh. And he goes back, like he holds up his newspaper. I want to see this shit. Oh man.
Just trying to live.
So then somebody knocks at the door, right? And they all, and like there's a pause because they all was like, oh snap, it's time. And they all run to go see. And dad opens the door. Package for Parker? Yeah, that's me. What's in it? I don't know. Well, what's in it?
Yeah, there's little.
No, I checked since the last time you asked, asshole.
So the delivery men bring in the giant wooden crate that's taller than the father, right? Before he opens it, he goes, fragile. I think it's Italian. And the mom's like, honey, I think it says fragile.
Just fragile.
Oh, okay. So dad dives in and digs through the packaging. Hay? Is that hay? Did they use hay back? What is that?
It's some kind of it seems like an organic substance.
Some sort of fiber.
Seems like an organic substance.
Like hay or straw or
yeah, hemp.
White people hair.
So he digs inside to find what's in it, and he pulls out a woman's leg in fishnet stockings, and he stands it up. Look at that! Would you look at that? And my wife's like, what is it? It's a statue.
It's an award.
Do you know what it is? What this is? It's a lamp. And he pulls out the lampshade that was in there too. I know just the place for it. Right in the middle of our front room window. And the wife's like, because it's the 40s, and I guess she couldn't be like, hell no.
I mean, also though, he's had his heart set. Do you think he even likes the damn thing?
Nah, he convinced himself that he did.
Yeah.
I see grown men do this shit all the time, where like they really sold something and then it's disappointing, but they don't want to admit they were wrong or show disappointment or whatever, or weakness. I don't know what it is, but they continue to go with the thing even though it's clearly like, we don't have to do this.
That's Browns fans in a nutshell.
Damn. Shout out Cleveland, where the movie takes place. Shit.
Oh shoot! Before somebody jumps in the podcast and strangles you, the movie a good portion of the movie was filmed in Cleveland, but I think it actually is supposed to take place in Indiana.
For real?
Yeah.
My bad.
But I have been past the house that when I lived near Cleveland. I've been past the house. It exists, and it is just weird how many people would just go to it after they found out it was there. They eventually made it into a museum that you can stay in the house. You can. It's not an Airbnb, but you can like get a reservation to like sleep in the house, and then the Bumpus's house is available. So you got to really like the movie to be like, I want to live in the Bumpus's house. Yeah, it's just there. You assume that the dogs aren't just in a field or something. You can do both. And I guess the car from the movie is in the driveway. Like they have the actual car. So I guess there's still that much of a fan base that people are like that excited, but it feels like one of those movies where I wouldn't even think any of this stuff was still around. I wouldn't even think about it existing. Like, oh yeah, that's neat that they filmed that movie. Oh, it's right there. It's not on a lot or something. Okay, cool. They just used somebody else. Neat.
Would y'all stay in the Parker house? Jerry's like,
no, it's not that serious.
You think they still got the old lead paint?
You got it. If you eat dinner, do you have to do it like piggy style?
Preferably not. Also, it's set in a fictional place called Home in Indiana.
Oh, all right. My bad. I thought because he mentioned Lake Michigan and Cleveland at some point. I thought it was in Cleveland.
Well, the funny thing is, I think he keeps saying Cleveland Street.
Oh, that's what it is.
Which is hilarious when you think about it, because even if that's not the name, that is what it is.
That is what it is.
It is a Cleveland Street.
That's funny. Cleveland's the Ohio city that's on the lake, right?
Yes, Cleveland is right up near the lake.
They got 3 big cities that start with C's, and I can't remember which is which. Don't matter. I ain't never been to Ohio. So, anyway, so back to the leg lamp. This is one of my favorite parts. Whole time Ralphie's moving his hand up the leg to like at the top of the leg is like a little piece of butt cheek, and he goes to caress it, and the mom smacks his hand away and covers his eyes. But like Ralphie immediately was like, "Wow,
yeah, statue, good shit, good
Went
shit."
Straight for the butt cheek.
He called the thing electric sex.
The glow of electric sex. He definitely says that.
Oh man, but yeah. So the dad goes outside to help position the lamp in the window, and the neighbors take notice. Hey Parker, what is that? It's a major award. What with mind powers? And the mom distracts the kids by telling them Little Orphan Annie's on the radio. The radio show's coming on, and that's when the narrator goes, "Holy crap! It's 6:45. The only thing that could pull me away from the soft glow of electric sex gleaming in the window." And then the mom cuts the lamp off before the dad even comes back in the house.
My dad used to listen to this program. We watched this movie one time, and he heard that, and I could not hear the end of it. He's also old. He is also old.
I used to love Little Orphan Annie.
I just remember the first time he brought it up, he was just like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Christmas Story." He was like, "No, I heard them say Little Orphan Annie." I was like, "Yes, they said Little Orphan Annie. Go ahead." And he's like, "Yeah, we used to listen to that. We sit right down in front of the radio." "Yeah, you sit down in front of the radio. I'm watching Christmas Story. I'm trying to watch the movie about old times. I don't want to hear your stories about old times."
Oh man,
give me a break.
The radio show ended in 1942.
Yeah, this is 1940.
I'm understanding that. This gentleman saying that his father.
How old is your dad? That's where my brain
dad's
was like,
81.
My parents were 20 years from being born.
My dad's 81.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
All right.
I mean, he said his dad was old.
But like my mom is old, but she's not that old.
His dad is old enough to be my parents' parent. He's my grandparents' age.
When people are like, "Oh, you don't look your age," I'm like, "Bet, cool."
I mean, you're not 60.
My half brother from my dad's side is, I think, 61.
Oh, that is.
Tim's the baby.
Tim's the baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like literally the last one of even the split parents.
Jesus
like
Jones.
Last one. Everybody after me is nieces, and I have a niece that is 42 years old. So.
Okay.
The theme of the podcast is Tim is old.
I understand because I got a aunt that's younger than me.
Oh man.
It's like, what y'all doing?
Grandpa was a Rolling Stone. Oh, at least in my case, my grandpa was a Rolling Stone.
So the next day, Ralphie hands his masterpiece, themed to Miss Shields, and immediately starts daydreaming at her desk. And that, like, he's picturing like that she loved it so much that she gets up and she gives him an A+, and she keeps writing plus across the chalkboard, and then pretends she's writing it across the room. And she's like, "Oh, poetry, sheer poetry." And then he snaps back too, and she's like, "You can sit down now." He's just standing there smiling at her. So yeah, then
just being a little creep.
Then a wink.
Yeah, he does that twice too, which he's like, get away from me.
Could have been more of the students pointing and giggling at Ralphie. He needed that. Someone needs to bring him down.
Yeah. So that night they went out to go get a Christmas tree, but not before Mrs. Parker cuts the lamp light off and pisses Mr. Parker off. So they get the tree after the dad haggles the price down a bit, and on the way back they sing Jingle Bells, and oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. That part always takes me out because the kids are into it and the mom's into it, and like the dad is taken by surprise that they all raspberry. I don't know. Every time I'm like, how did he knows how this goes, right? Like anyway. Because they're like they immediately start laughing at themselves, and he's like, "What's wrong with y'all?" But to Jamel's point, he already said that like that's this dad is very stern,
a little stodgy.
Yeah. So immediately after they catch a flat, and the dad gets excited because he imagines himself in the pits of the Indy 500, and like the mom sends Ralphie out to help him for the first time. And his job is to hold the tire nuts in the hubcap, but he's way too close to his dad, and when he turns around, he knocks the hubcap up, and the nuts go flying off into the darkness. Oh, fudge. Only I didn't say fudge. I said the word, the big one, the queen mother of dirty words, the F dash word.
Frick.
And the dad's like, what did you say? And Ralphie's like, that's what I thought you said. Get in the car. It was all over. I was dead. And back in the car, dad tells the mom what Ralphie said. Like he whispers it. And she goes, ah, Ralphie!
She flips out pretty bad.
And then it cuts to Ralphie sitting in the house with a bar of soap in his mouth. And mom asks Ralphie, now, where did you hear that word? Now, I'd heard that word from my father 10 times a day all my life. My father worked in profanity the way other artists worked in oils or clay. It was his true medium, a master. But Ralphie chickened out and blurted out, Schwartz! his friend, right? So immediately, right? Ralphie is not good. Immediately, mom gets on the phone and calls Schwartz's mom and tells her what Ralphie said, and asks if she knew where he got it from. And you could hear it through the phone. And she goes, probably from his father. And she's like, no, he got it from your son. What?
Totally South Park took this for Kyle's mom, right?
Yeah.
Sheila Brufloff, like that's her bit. They totally stole that.
That does sound very much like that. I hadn't thought of that before.
That's funny. And like you hear Schwartz go, what did I do, mom? And then he starts getting a beating over the phone. God. And like the mom listens for a while, like damn, like, and then she hangs up and she sends Ralphie to bed
just to make sure it was an appropriate, beating.
Nah, but it was more like she was shocked, like she didn't see that happening. Oh, no. That's a joke. Sorry, but she was like, oh. Damn! And she had to hang up the phone.
I just put soap in my son's mouth. What are you doing over there?
Right? What did I do, mom? Pop, pop, pop. And like she's yelling the whole time.
I don't know what I did. I mean, he's like,
Could you imagine you minding your business? Just probably eating a cookie or something while reading a comic book, and your mom just comes in and starts beating the shit out of you for no reason. I mean, and it's funny because then it cuts to Ralphie sitting in bed crying because he thinks he done ruined his chances of getting his gun right. And he's like, Schwartz is down the street getting his. And it's like, what do you mean getting his? Set him up, bro. Like he did something in this.
Wait, don't forget the part of this that made me laugh. After she sends him to bed, she takes the soap.
Oh yeah, she takes the soap.
And she hesitates for a second.
She tries it. It's so funny. So yeah, then we see Ralphie daydream again. Well, it's nighttime. That he wishes the soap would make him go blind, so his parents would feel sorry. And like that's when we get the dad. Like he said earlier, the dad like really sells it in his daydreams. What brought you to this lowly stage? So next we see Ralphie back at school dropping off a whole fruit basket. How did he get? They must have had the fruit basket at home anyway. The whole fruit basket. I
was confused.
I thought it was a daydream at first. A whole fruit basket at Mrs. Shields' desk to hopefully bribe her, right? Because he knows that she got to grade the themes. And when he gets home, he finally gets his little orphan Annie decoder ring in the mail. Did your dad get one?
I don't think he was still black, so no.
Oh,
He just old.
So the little orphan Annie decoder ring, and like that night he listened to the radio show, and got the secret message that he had to decode, right? And he ran to the bathroom to try and decode it in secret. He dramatically decodes it, and while his brother is about to piss himself outside, all just to find out the message was, "Be sure to drink your Ovaltine." Ovaltine? A crummy commercial? Son of a bitch!
Yeah, I mean, you got soap poisoning already. Just start saying it.
Just, right? I didn't write it down, but the narrator even said that it happened so much that he became a soap connoisseur and he preferred the taste of Palmolive.
But Lifebuoy, ooh.
So later on after dinner, the dad is in the basement fighting the furnace, and the mom goes to water her plants, and she ends up breaking the leg lamp off screen. So we don't actually see if she did it on purpose or not, but we know. Even though the dad is downstairs screaming obscenities, he ran upstairs to find his wife was sitting with the broken pieces. It's like he felt it in his soul when it broke.
Anything else could have broke upstairs. He'd been like, whatever.
Right. But there was a disturbance in the force, and he runs back upstairs. And like she's sitting there with the pieces of the lamp looking dumbfounded, right? And he wanted to glue it back together, but she said there was no glue left.
You saw the glue on purpose.
So he tries to put it back together without glue, and to his credit, he kind of does, but like when he puts like the last piece in, it all just kind of crumbles. And like the whole time the mom is in the back trying not to laugh, or trying not to let him see her laugh. And then the adult Ralphie's like, that night alone in the dark, he buried it in the backyard. I can never be sure, but I think I heard the sound of taps playing. So next we see him arriving at school, and the bullies pop up on him. And like they want to get one of them, and like Ralphie runs inside and leaves Flick hanging again, who gets a wedgie, and like he's going, Uncle! And he's being assaulted outside. Poor Flick.
Again.
Ralphie left him.
Even his homie, if you knew Ralphie growing up and then you were playing like a heist when you were like 20,
look, he'd be the one.
He's not on the team. If someone brings him, you're like, no, absolutely not. Get the fuck out of it. He is unreliable. He's disloyal.
You can't be sure
it's going
to work.
And churlish. We still ain't done any heist movies. Sorry.
What?
We bring up heist movies like every 3 episodes because everybody loves heist movies. I mean, I guess technically Fast and Furious, but
well, which one?
I mean, they're all technically heist movies.
No, they're not.
They're all. I mean,
Tokyo Drift's a heist movie. Okay, never mind. Let's go.
Okay.
Move on.
Tokyo Drift is practically a slice of life movie.
I was going to say that. Tokyo Drift is a slice of life.
They get me, Jamel.
It all comes full circle.
Inside, Miss Shields hands out the graded themes, and Ralphie gets back with his C+ on it. And at the bottom it says, P.S. Yeah. You'll shoot your eye out.
Just... Come on, man.
An adult Ralphie narrates. He goes, oh no, my mother must have gotten to Miss Shields. There's no other explanation. And on his way home, completely depressed and with nothing left to lose, Ralphie catches a snowball to the face. And it's the bullies again. And Ralphie starts to cry as Scott Farkas teases him. And Ralphie snaps. And he beats the fuck out of him. Grover Dills tries to stop it, and he gets shoved too, and he's like, I'm gonna tell my dad on you. And Ralphie is still beating the shit out of Farkas, and like he's cussing up a storm now too, just like his dad. Fling Flarman, all that shit.
Boy.
And like it's so bad that Randy runs home and gets their mom, and like she arrives to her oldest son cussing like a sailor and murdering a child. So look,
but which one of these is the worst of the two? Because Ralphie thinks it's one.
Oh, that
the movie seems to think it's the cussing and
It's
not
the
the
cussing
beating
and not-
the living shit out of Scott Farkas.
No, that's a good
fine.
point. That's a good
Everyone
point.
knows Scott Farkas is a piece of shit.
That's true.
About time he got his.
That's true. Because
that's perfectly fine.
when the mom comes up, Flick and Schwartz are like, Ralphie, they're not saying Ralphie stop. Like, Ralphie, get off of him. They're telling him to stop talking because he's
keep hitting him, but stop the cursing.
So,
one kid yelled, "Kill him, hang him."
Ralphie's up there doing
kid.
doing the scat part from that Korn song, but beating the guy senseless. They were really just worried about mom overhearing the swear.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
But yeah, like, because he said it. He said, you're either a bully, a toady, or one of the Ravla victims. So they all were like, yeah. Fuck him up. And honestly, isn't that illegal in MMA? Like that when that happens, like the referee has to pull him off, right? Like when you got him on the ground.
I don't think you're allowed to do
pummeling,
that for very long. No,
it's like 2 or 3 seconds, and then they gotta.
It's more than never mind.
They don't let you
I don't know the rule.
complete
I don't
a fight
UFC
that
like
way most of the time.
But every time I see it,
some question are you asking?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I just know eventually the referee pulls him off, and it's not long enough for Randy to run home and get their mom. So like Scott Farkas.
It's the more ridiculous thing. Okay. Whose name is Scut?
Scut. What is that short for?
Scuttle.
That sounds like a really rich white man's name.
It's a family name. Bird from The Little Mermaid.
Like Mitt. Anyway.
I'm just saying.
So at home, Ralphie cries because he just knew his dad was going to kill him when he got home from work.
To death.
And Randy's hiding under the kitchen sink crying too. Like, I guess that's his spot. Crying too because Daddy's going to kill Ralphie.
Oh, shit. Randy is neurodivergent.
What?
We don't have that term in the 1940s, but...
I mean, explain how this 5-year-old is neurodivergent for me.
The eating disorder, the hiding under the sink as his like safe place kind of.
Nigga, you ain't never been 5? I
don't know. There's a couple of things, but Randy something's off about Randy in general, I think. But okay.
He's a bad child actor, except for 2 points.
Yeah, I think it's just bad acting. I agree. It's just he's just not a good actor.
There's 2 points where he's amazing, and
or
then the rest of
he's
the movie,
amazing at doing exactly what he was supposed to do. And we didn't have a word for it then. Now we do.
Because I mean, it's actually really common for, like people always say, like, "Oh, my kid only eats chicken nuggets and mac and cheese." It's just Ralphie's mama wasn't going to make 2 dinners. Ralphie was going to eat what she made, or he wasn't going to eat at all.
That's how it should be.
I feel personally attacked right now.
You only eat chicken nuggets and mac and cheese in your big age.
Like, now hold up a second.
It's just
so what if I do?
Well, the mom didn't sell him out though. Yeah, she protected him because when Dad comes home, she mentioned that Ralphie was in the fight, but she didn't mention the cussing, and she immediately changes the subject because like the dad is like in a fight, and she's like, well, how about them Packers or whatever? And he's like, oh. But yeah, like shout out to the mom for not telling the dad that they almost became parents of a murdering child.
Didn't the dad in this era, you tell him that his son was in a fight, the first question is going to be,
did you win?
Who won?
Yeah.
And you're like,
I'd ask that now.
Attaboy. And then,
well, I would ask. I don't know if I would ask it first. I would say who started it and who finished it.
I could see.
My point is, you don't lose points with your dad by beating up the neighborhood bully.
Yeah,
most times.
I think the mom knew that too. That's why she mentioned the fight, but not the cussing. Mm-hmm. And it's like the way he was cussing too. Like it was.
Like Dad?
Well, at that point, maybe she accepted it in her heart that like like he gets it from the dad. Because like then she just didn't hear it secondhand. She heard it.
Yeah.
Right? So, that's his father. Fling flarm, fling all that shit. So, good point. But yeah, I understand Ralphie in this moment because allegedly in high school, it may or may not have happened. I was at Votech, and I was in auto mechanics at Votech, right? And it was just dudes. And I used to make the joke it was like jail. I don't know if that's politically correct now, so I shouldn't say it still, but it was like dudes, and you get a whole bunch of dudes, half of them ignorant as shit, together. Like dumb shit happens. So like at the end of every class, we'd have to clean up the shop, right? And everybody would be like, okay, you have this bay or this section to clean. And the bay I had to clean, there was this dude, Clayton and Lewis. They were best friends, I think. And they were like throwing a ball back and forth, like just playing catch with each other in the bay. I got to clean. I was like, all right, y'all move. And they wouldn't. I asked them again. They wouldn't. So like,
did you ask them like that? Did you say, all right, God, or all right, y'all move?
I wasn't going to say, excuse me, please. Well, nah, get the fuck out the way. But so one of them like kind of bucked at me, and out of reflex, I bitch slapped them. And at that point, I knew like, okay, well, now I'm in a fight. I have to keep going, right? And I don't know what happened up here, but like I had him by the collar and I just kept wailing on him like Ralphie, but like I'm still standing up. And this is Clayton. And like I guess like Clayton wasn't really trying to fight back either, or maybe he tried to, but it wasn't in his position with me. Got him like this. He couldn't do much. And so he was like throwing his hands up, and I was like punching like past his hands. And then I saw Louise or whatever his name was, him step up. And I assume he's going to jump in to help his friend, right? So like I grab Clayton and like I throw him down or to the side, like I'm getting ready to like I swing him back because I'm getting ready to like hit his friend with his friend. Like I'm turning Clayton into a weapon.
You're gonna beat a motherfucker with a motherfucker.
Yeah. And then I realized Louise is just watching the fight. Because he a shitty friend too, apparently. he's like also like they're high half the time. So like Louise was like, oh, in the fight. Even though it's his BFF. And well, at that point, like, okay, well, Clayton's already down here. So I just kept wailing on him. And apparently the whole time I kept yelling, get off me, even though I'm the one that, because I think
Stop resisting.
Like Clayton grabbed, no, don't do that. The Clayton grabbed me first. And apparently the grab didn't last long because that's when I yoked him up and I started saying get off me, and I didn't stop saying get off me as I kept hitting even though he had gotten off me. It all happened really fast, okay? And by the time like they pulled us apart, like Clayton was bleeding from like 4 different places, and I was the one that was had him yanked up. Anyway, I understand that like in the moment,
but your knuckles were bruised.
In the moment, like I understand Ralphie. Like when you go blind like that and you just start like it, and it was a long time coming. I mean, not for me. I don't know. Maybe like they just always played my bays when I'm trying to clean up. I don't know, but like for Ralphie at least. Every day these bullies mess with him, and then it was like that he was already in a bad place, almost killed Scott Farkas. I get it.
Dear Lord.
Hashtag Tifron is not.
Tifron is not a bully. If someone asked me to move, I move.
I mean, you didn't ask him. You told them to.
I said, get the fuck out of the way. That's
when people tell people things harshly, their reaction usually is to stand their ground.
Like I said, it was a very interesting dynamic in a class of all dudes at auto mechanics.
Next time we're hanging out, I'm gonna be like, Tifron, you should beat that guy up.
Tifron, did you see that guy knock me down?
Get off!
Well, Tifron, this is how I'm get out
of my way. You're my Grover Dill. You're the Grover Dill to my Scott Farkas. Scott Farkas.
Tim,
yeah, we're gonna work this out. Luricon gonna be different.
Oh no! Nah. We gotta cut this whole part.
But you're admitting to the assault, probably.
Hey man,
statute of limitations is up. He good.
They don't seem like the podcast listening type.
I didn't say that.
I'll be all right. Wouldn't that be some shit? They moved to Ontario.
What if they're two of your biggest podcast fans? You don't even know.
Then they understand. They've long since forgiven me. Because I forgave myself.
That's the important thing.
You
forgave yourself for beating the shit out of you.
I punched a fingernail off. Like,
Damn.
Anyway.
That hurts. That really hurts.
So yeah, even though Ralphie had a renewed confidence in him and his mom's relationship after she saved him from his father's wrath, he decided his last shot is to get Santa to bring him a BB gun, right? He's like the head honcho himself.
Why didn't I do that before? Dummy.
So next scene, we see them at a Christmas parade downtown, and afterwards they go inside the store where there's a Santa. The parents puts them in the line to take pictures with Santa. Side note, we took a little tiff today we're trying to get him a picture with Black Santa, the Santa-Vic, the Hampton Roads official Black Santa. I think that's what he says it himself, which is kind of rude because now you close the market on, Black Santas in Hampton
I've never
Roads.
heard him say all of the official Black. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I've never.
His page says it. Yeah. His Facebook page says it. Hampton Roads official Black Santa.
Y'all know who David Sedaris is?
No.
The writer?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you listen to NPR. No, because he was a mall elf in his youth. Wow, excuse me. And he tells a story about his huge mall that had like several Santas at the same time, where it was set up so you couldn't really see.
Right.
And then white people come up and say, "Hey, we heard there's a Black Santa, but can you make sure we get a traditional Santa?" And he's like,
"Damn,
yeah, sure, go that way." And point him right to the Black Santa.
Can't say I wouldn't do the same thing.
So
anyway,
we didn't get to Black Santa because they canceled the event. So we went to the mall and settled for White Santa. So they put him in line for Santa, and I'm assuming they went to go buy presents while they had him distracted, but they don't actually come back with bags, so I don't know. Maybe they put him in the car.
Put him in the car.
Yeah. So Ralphie sees that it's 9:00 when the store closes, and he tries to push his way forward through the line. And Randy goes up first, and he starts crying as soon as he gets in Santa's lap, and they send him down the slide. Side note, like Santa's up on this thing where there's stairs on one side, and then when they finish talking to Santa, they slide him down. So they send Randy down the slide. Now it's Ralphie's turn. Ho, ho, ho. What's your name, little boy? And he's super disoriented all of a sudden. He gets up there and the room starts to spin.
Stressed.
And yeah.
He's starstruck. This is the man.
I thought this was pretty cool because somebody else we were talking about how kids half the time they get up there and they start crying, even big kids. So it's from the kids' point of view, we see it from the kids' point of view how how crazy everything gets in the moment. Yeah.
Just lost.
I've got finish the scene, but then I've got some questions here.
And he's like, the elf is like, "Hey kid, hurry up! The store's closing. Listen, little boy, we got a lot of people waiting here, so get going." And Ralphie's super disoriented and all that. And finally, Santa's like, "What do you want for Christmas, little boy? Come on, kid. How about a nice football?" And Ralphie nodded because he's still hasn't come to his senses yet. He nodded, and then they pull him off of Santa's lap, and they send him down the slide, but he stops. He catches himself, and he climbs back up the slide. And he's like, no, I want an official Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot range model rifle. And what does Santa go and say? "You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho." And this is the most disrespectful shit because he puts his boot on Ralphie's forehead and pushes him down the slide with his foot. Yeah, so as Ralphie slides down, defeated, the parents pull up, and he's like, Did you tell Santa how good you were this year?" "No." And the dad's like, "Don't worry, he always knows." So go ahead.
Okay, first of all, the whole thing with going up to see Santa and then there being a slide going down, that's awesome. Any kid who thinks otherwise is bad at being a kid. That's dope. What is the point of this stuff?
The slide?
You don't get a photo with Santa. Your parents aren't there to hear the thing you want.
That's the truth.
They're not going to tell your fucking parents. They don't even know who. So what is this?
Just to get the kids distracted while you go buy presents.
Okay.
It does seem like more of a distractions factor than the rest.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Is that not? I mean, normally your parents are there, but is that not the norm? I can't remember my mom ever being close enough to hear me say what I wanted.
Oh, they pipe it in.
I was thinking that when we were with the kid today with Santa, and I was like, so how would we know? Or I guess they just assumed that they already told you. You know,
at the very least, I think the Santa's supposed to be, for the photo. But
yes, it is supposed to be for the photo.
Yeah.
If you don't already know what your kid wants for Christmas, that's
on you.
I'm sorry.
A little bit.
Do you read your child's mail? That is private, ma'am.
Nah, the kid.
That was between him and Santa. You were not supposed to read that. You're supposed to put it in the envelope.
Kids have big
send
mouths. Kids have big mouths. They done already said it 18 times or slid an ad into your magazine.
Very slick. Man, this Ralphie kid's a genius.
So, Christmas night, we see them trimming the tree and blowing a fuse, and the parents send the boys off to bed so that they can pull out the Christmas gifts, right? And the next morning, Ralphie wakes up to a fresh layer of snow, which is funny to me because he was like, wow.
He was
you in
so
Cleveland,
excited.
Sorry, you're not Cleveland. Up until today, I thought he was in Cleveland. So I was like, you got snow. There's already snow on the ground. But there's a fresh layer.
Well, this time he wasn't in school, so it's great.
That's right. And it's not Christmas. Or it wasn't Christmas, but now it's Christmas and there's snow. So,
wow, I lived through the night.
Me with the lead paint on the walls.
Krampus running around.
So they go downstairs and they open their stuff, and there's no BB gun, but there is a big gift from Aunt Clara, who for years had labored under the delusion that not only was I perpetually 4 years old, but also a girl.
I'm not telling anybody that.
Which was a pink bunny onesie. And this is when we get, they send him up to put on the onesie, and he comes back down the stairs, in the pink bunny costume. And this is when his dad's like, well, we already see that dad is upset because when the mom was saying, Aunt Clara always makes you the best stuff, and the dad's looking at her like, and when he comes down the stairs, dad straight up is like, he looks like a deranged Easter bunny, like a pink nightmare. So after all the presents are open and like Randy's knocked out under the tree, hugging a blimp, Mr. Parker asks Ralphie if he got everything he wanted, and Ralphie's like, almost. And the dad shrugs and he's like, that's life. There's always next Christmas. And he's like, wait, what's that? What's that behind the desk, by the wall? And like Ralphie goes and he pulls out one last present and he opens it, and it's the Red Ryder BB gun. And his dad had secretly gotten it for him, much to the mom's surprise, because you could see that she's like, what? And this is the only time you really see the dad like not show emotion, but like be soft, I guess. I don't know. But he's like, I had one when I was a kid. And then like he's like coaching Ralphie, like put the BBs in. And yeah, don't spill them, you'll spill them. Like he was like really happy to see Ralphie with this gun. Side note, if this is 1940s, when the dad was a kid, they had like BB guns back then in like 1910, 19.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh, the dad was 8 when he had one. Ralphie is 9. Everything on the internet says he's 9. I heard him say 9. Dad was 8.
You didn't let that go.
Nope.
All right. Well,
you knew I wouldn't.
I'll let you have it. You did your internet research.
Look, we were going to get emails. We're not going to.
Okay, we're not going to get emails.
You guys can send us emails.
I mean, we still ain't got a single email. Anyway.
Please send us emails.
We did get not a retweet, because Blue Sky, a repost from some. I'm not going to say that. On Blue Sky, they say reskeet, and I'm like, no. Get it? Tweet. Sky. Skeet. No, I'm not doing that.
That's a little much.
Yeah, we did get a repost from somebody in the Caribbean, or at least on the Caribbean feed, and they reposted it into the feed for us because they're like, this movie's great, and it's on Amazon and in French. Were they French? I'm assuming.
Was that the mighty?
They could be from Haiti or Guadeloupe.
What movie?
Boxing Day.
Oh,
the last movie. Should watch it and tell me what you think.
No, I'm good.
God damn. Oh yeah, so they let him go out to the backyard to play with it, and the first shot he takes, what they say the whole movie, you'll shoot your eye. The first shot he takes ricochets back and would have hit him in the eye if it didn't hit his glasses. And like he falls backwards and like the glasses is knocked off his head and he gets up to try and find the glasses and he crunches him. He steps on him. So now, like he even has like a mark, like where like, yeah.
Where it hit his cheek and not actually
like,
son. Yeah, because I had that wrong at first. I had to retype it. It hit the glasses, but it didn't, the glasses weren't broken until he stepped on them. Like he still, yeah.
Everything that could go wrong.
Yeah. First shot
serves him right. He didn't deserve this.
I mean,
BB gun.
Yeah, everyone said it for a reason. Even Santa. No, he'll shoot your eye out. But yeah, so now his glasses are broken. He has a mark on his face. He comes up with the lie that an icicle fell.
And he thought it up quick.
And he thought it up real quick. And he even starts crying and everything. And he runs back inside, an icicle. Yeah, his mom calms him down and they get a spare pair of glasses. So last thing is, so there was a turkey on the kitchen table for Christmas. And like he had talked about earlier how the dad loves turkey. And he was already trying to steal a piece and everything, and the mom kept catching him. So turkey's sitting on the table, Christmas dinner, and the dad's in the living room, I don't know, reading the paper or something. And then by the time he hears it and jumps up, it's too late because the Bumpus's dogs then got in the house. Then nobody closed the door. I don't know. Then got in the house and devoured the turkey. I think they broke the table too. Because the turkey was on the floor and I think the table was broken.
Bumpus!
Yeah. He couldn't even.
You gotta sue the Bumpuses.
Right?
You gotta sue the Bumpuses.
Man, look, we would have been fighting. I didn't write down the exact quote of what she screamed, but it was, Bumpuses, something, something, something. But yeah, he's heartbroken and he tells the family, go get dressed and we're going to go to this Chinese restaurant for Christmas since, our Christmas dinner is ruined. And I mean, it's the thing, like Chinese restaurants usually open on Christmas if you got nowhere else to go or got nowhere else to get food. I've done it before. The Chinese restaurant's name is Bowling, and Bowling & Sons Chop Suey Palace Company. But it used to be a bowling alley, but the W went out. So it just says Bowling.
Or did they turn it off?
Or did they turn it off?
Save the money on the signage.
But yeah, and then at the restaurant, this is when we get the racist joke. Yeah, of the
they were not kind to China in this movie.
Oh no. The racist joke of, I guess the dude is Bowling and he's trying to get the waiters or the waiters his sons, I don't know, to sing, what was it, Deck the Halls and Jingle Bells, but they can't because of their accent, or they can, but the family's laughing at the accent.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, it did not age well.
Yeah. Which, if I may, maybe saves it a little bit. What if they're purposely playing it up to entertain these white folks?
It's possible.
They seem almost like they're in on it.
Yeah, I think so too, but we can't make that call because white people made the movie. So then we get them bringing out the duck, which they call the Chinese turkey. It's that bad too? I'm not, whatever, I'm keep moving. And the dad says it's smiling at me and he chops off the head in front of him and they laugh. I don't think that part's racist. I don't know about the Chinese.
Why would it be
turkey
racist?
Specifically, but
why would calling duck Chinese turkey be racist?
It's okay.
Do they have turkeys in China?
When I used to go to a local hibachi place, one of the men of Asian descent, because I was never sure. Yes, it is a hibachi place, but we know how people can work anywhere. Yeah. So this man right in front of us goes, "Do you want to see Japanese grits?" And we're like, "Sure." He dumps a whole thing of rice on the table and just starts smiling. A few minutes later, he picks up the soy sauce and he goes, "You know what this is?" We're like, "Soy sauce?" He goes, "No, Japanese Coca-Cola." And just pours it all over rice. We're like, I don't know if his laughing is okay. And it was like 1999 or 1998. We were still like, okay. He said it though, right? So I'm going to laugh.
Look, when in Rome.
He was having a ball.
One of my favorite, like, I mean, half my brain is just memes, right? It's like the Facebook memory thing, right? is it was a Jamaican hibachi chef. And they're like, Lord, who let their Jamaican uncle get a job at the hibachi spot? And like he up there cooking, talking about, oh nah, oh nah. Anyway, so that's the end of the movie. So the movie ends with Ralphie falling asleep holding his BB gun, even though it tried to kill him.
It's not a euphemism.
So yeah, what was your favorite aspect of the movie? I'm gonna go with Tim.
I feel like no matter how old you are, you can still kind of like all the referential things to being a kid. Like I feel like everybody can get along. You've been through these things. They all feel familiar. They
even
put
Jamel.
Well, I mean, except for when the children felt happiness, I suppose. Jamel's like, fine. A gift for me.
I was reading some notes. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, like I feel like everybody kind of. Well, now that I'm an adult, I'm not a kids owning adult. But I do feel like I understand that side of things too. Like looking at things the way the relationship between the mom and dad. Like you just kind of. I have a hard time getting the word for. It's like a whole phrase where it's like you understand something because you have lived it, and my body
knows who knows it feels it.
Yeah, that works too. But it's like there's such a simpler thing to say, and my body is like, no, thank you, Tim. You say nothing good from word. No.
Understand.
Lived experience.
You've experienced it. Thank you. That took a minute.
All right, Jamel.
I actually wrote down a few spots that actually made me laugh out loud.
The aspect.
Okay, fine. Aspect. We'll go broader. In that case, I'll say we already kind of touched on it. Man, it's. You said it is very joke dense. I didn't really think about that until this discussion. And the narration is really good, and just the reactions. There's a lot of unsaid. Reactions to things that are rewarding on a rewatch. Where you're just like, oh, yeah, that's
yeah. Like every time you watch it, you're going to keep finding more stupid little things like that.
I'll be specific in this one real quick. When she does open up the cabinet under the sink, and Randy comes out, and Dad sees his son get out from under the sink.
Yeah, and
he's like, look like,
what? I'm not even going.
Nope, just moving on. His face says everything.
She just, oh yeah, let me get the son out from under the sink.
Oh, dinner time. Let me get the kid. And he's like, yeah. Yeah.
So, Cherry?
I don't have aspects. I have a favorite scene.
Like you could say like anything about the movie that isn't a specific scene, like cinematography, the writing, the way it makes me feel, like how Tim said, like the fact that whatever Tim said, experience that no matter how old you are, like it's anything.
I don't know that I have one. That it's rewatchable, I guess.
Okay.
Or so easily rewatchable.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Keep moving.
I'm sorry. I have to go. There's a 5-year-old waiting for me in the driveway.
Okay.
Bye, Cherry.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
They letting those Postmates people get younger and younger.
Hey, in this economy?
I have your chips.
We almost made it. Dang. That's the first.
I got a coworker whose fetus has a data entry job.
So, favorite scene.
Oh, now it's favorite scene?
Now it's favorite scene.
Wait, what was your favorite aspect?
Oh, mine?
Yeah. You're not
oh yeah, that's true. That every time I watch it, I find something new funny. 35 times.
So you stole kind of okay.
I mean, she stole mine. She just blurted something out. Tim?
I still think the kid getting beat up scene is like probably one of my favorites because he just asked the whole time they was mean to all those kids all the time, and it took just the one time for somebody to be like, "It's the wrong day." It's just the wrong day.
Yeah, it was the wrong day. Like he had, like I said, he was already depressed. He had nothing to lose. Snowball to the face. I am over this. Oh man. Mine is when the mom calls and calls the other mom and says, "Do you know what Ralphie said? You know where he got it from? Probably from his father. No, from your son. What? We randomly do the what in our house. And then he just catches a beating. That whole thing, everything from the scene cutting to him sitting with the soap in his mouth, all the way up until she puts the soap in her mouth. Like that's my favorite part.
I feel like one time when I watched it on regular television, there was a spot right before or right after, for whatever reason, they cut like the entire section after they bought the tree past the soap punishment.
Damn.
That whole section got cut for time. I don't remember what channel I was watching on. I was like, this is insane.
TBS.
That's like the scene. That's one of many
TBS
really good
usually has
scenes.
it in there, 'cause
Those
that's
are
where
very outdated punishments, though, and I can see some modern
but
exec
the
being
old
like, "We can get rid
fudge,
of that."
that like the old fudge is like
That's a big
that's a big
section to
part.
take out.
Sure, but okay, but if you have that part and they don't cut to like the punishment and stuff, then just kind of this part just hanging out there.
That's
So
wild.
you
I
gotta-
mean, that's you. I know
Well,
you're just trying
I'm
to
not
make
saying
it
I
make
agree
sense.
with it.
You're
but,
just
like,
trying to make
yeah,
it make sense.
just-
I get it.
The
that's
smallest part I've
wild.
seen cut is just the dream sequence when he has soap poisoning.
Oh,
I've seen just that be cut before too. But I think
That's-
most of the time when they run it 24 hours, they just run the whole thing.
Yeah, it's the whole
like,
thing.
It's not,
like,
it's
there's
not
ad
molested at all.
commercials, like, because it's a 2-hour block, and they insert the commercial, and it's a 90-minute movie, so they got enough room for commercials. So, but I guess sometimes they do
90-minute
stuff.
movie we're talking about for 2 hours.
I mean, that's the norm.
My favorite scene, I'll give it up to the decoder ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
The build up, you kind of do feel the tension in his
and he's like
narration of like this is important. Like, I'm 9 years old, but this is Little Orphan Annie. The whole world might be at stake right now.
I'm gonna save the world.
Okay, I'll be out in a minute. What is he saying to his mom? He's borderline.
Yeah, he's borderline rude. He says
with what he's saying. Like,
yeah,
crying out loud.
Crying out loud. Yeah.
Yeah. And only to find this fucking commercial.
A crummy commercial? Son of a bitch.
The disillusionment. You grew up right there in that moment. You became
he probably doesn't even want to listen to the show anymore after that.
Probably. The show ends 2 years after this movie takes place. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite quote?
Can't really say gonna shoot your eye out. That's too easy.
It's full of quotes, man.
Literally, that's what I said in the beginning. Every single line in this movie is a joke or in service of a joke.
I'll go ahead and steal Fragile. Must be Italian.
Yes.
So also my first, I'm gonna keep taking this back to the Nicktoons. My first exposure to this bit was actually in the Rugrats when the Carmichaels are moving in, and after like crushing a box, maybe sitting on it, one of the dumbass movers is like, "Hey Frank, what's fragile mean?"
Yes, that's really good.
Yeah, had no idea about this movie back then. But they definitely watched it.
I forgot my part. Mine is already said it. It's the what? Probably his father. And like she knew, she hear him cussing too. Like that was so you got this kid.
Mom knew.
You got like that's just how people be lying to themselves, man. Like you got that kid beat for no reason. But yeah. Oh, or randomly when they were in the line for Santa, the kid in front of him turns around and is like, "I love Santa Claus," and he's like, "All right, sorry, I'm busy." Or no, I think he says that to the Wicked Witch of the West.
Because I love Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, the witch comes over and tries to mess with Ralphie, and he's like, "I'm busy." She's
I'm thinking right now. It's like, sir, you're 9,
right? All right, and dang, I wish he was here for this. What's your favorite character, and which character are you?
I'm probably Flick.
Flick?
I'm probably Flick. My favorite character, to some degree, is the dad.
Yeah.
He's just doing his best in the middle of a movie that is stacked against him. but I'll probably flick. I've probably gotten quite a few kids in trouble for being like not a good influence at all.
Jamel.
Favorite character is Mom. She's doing her best to keep this whole thing together. She's got some good moments playing off Dad. Like, she's the brains of the outfit. He doesn't know it yet, but she definitely is. So I love when those little pieces come out. And yeah, she knows how far to push any member of the family for the most part. Just to keep the whole thing spinning. And the character I am is probably the dad. Kind of hapless,
angry, fighting furnaces.
I mean, look, I'm not going to share stories about potential assaults I might have committed.
All right. For me, favorite character, I think it's the dad. Which character am I? I'm either Ralphie or my number 2 would be Schwartz. I was a kid that cussed, and I've also caught in whoopings I shouldn't have. So,
what about Scott Farkas?
No.
Why?
Because I'm not a bully.
There you go.
Not yet.
I texted Cherry and she says her fave is Ralphie's mom, and which character she actually is. She's the teacher, Miss Fields.
There you go.
Yeah.
A theme.
There you go.
But she's laughing because she actually is a teacher. So
yeah.
All right. I have to explain that for anybody out there who so I'm gonna wrap it up with that. Final thoughts, anything you haven't said, any in conclusions?
I've got 2 things, but if you would like to go first, Mr. Tim, you're my guest.
Yeah, he long-winded.
There's that whole thing where the dad, I think he's just so glad to get that prize because he just seems like all he does is work and keep the rest of the house together. It is never really put as such, but it doesn't seem like they have a ton of money. So he's just doing what he can to help make do. So getting something in the mail that was for him just made him a little too excited.
I understand that. Damn.
He's like holding that. He was piecing that car together,
recognition,
doing the same thing with the heat,
the furnace. Yeah,
that turkey and that leg was all he had.
Look, he won't look for the one thing all year. And then that's why he got so excited about. You're right. Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point. I didn't even think about them not having a whole lot of money because you could just hire somebody to fix the furnace or get a new furnace.
Let Dad have his flowers.
I got you. All right, Jamel, what you got?
Okay, so
we're at 2 hours 16 minutes.
What I was going to say is, how about Ralphie being a psychopath?
I did not see where this was going. Ralphie might be a psychopath. I think he's just a white man.
He doesn't care about the consequences of his actions and how they affect anyone but himself.
White man.
He's manipulative of other people.
White man. His mom.
He has delusions of grandeur.
White man.
Destructive tendencies.
White man.
G to the U to the N.
Violent temper.
He wants a gun. White man. Where are you going with this?
White man.
I'm saying if the only thing we don't see Ralphie do, well, there's a couple of things we don't see Ralphie do in this movie, but I'm just saying keep an eye on that kid. There's a sequel with him.
Oh yeah, there's a sequel that came out in 2012, A Christmas Story 2, and then there's A Christmas Story with the actor.
The Christmas Story Christmas.
Yeah, with Ralphie's actor in it. I don't know if he's still playing Ralphie or what. I honestly don't want to watch either of them.
Billingsley.
Yeah, I don't want to watch either of them, but they're out there. One was 2012, one was 2022.
So just chew on that characterization, as you will. The other thing is, because if I'm nothing if not consistent, I've already brought up Hey Arnold and the Rugrats. I felt like watching this movie, the creator of Doug might have taken a cue or two from this.
Probably.
Because
I could see
Doug
that.
was prone to those flights of fancy like that. And Ralphie's are pretty fucking weird in, I think, a lot of the same way Doug's could be.
I could see Ralphie getting stuck in a snipe hunt.
That is what the first episode is, isn't it?
Yep.
The nematode thing. That's a snipe hunt. Wait, why were you watching Doug?
Why were you watching Doug?
Because I was in the age group for it.
Why you keep fighting Tim?
Nicktoons was for anyone who could watch cartoons.
Cartoons are for everybody.
Yeah.
Animation's for everyone.
But at one point they
send me after you.
But at one point they were also playing the Nicktoons in the morning before I went to school. So that was part of it. And to anyone who's listening, no offense, Disney's Doug is not Doug. Get a life.
Disney's Doug is garbage.
It's funny. We brought that up on the anime podcast too.
Disney's Doug is not Doug. Move on.
Hashtag not my Doug.
Yes.
So ratings, Tim.
You can't not suggest it to people during Christmas, so my suggestion rating pretty much stands.
Gotcha. Hamel.
Careful with that one.
Does that mean something that I don't know?
It might. Don't look it up.
Okay.
So I'm going to go into Letterboxd and actually adjust this because after this discussion, I think I feel a little better about the movie than I did before. So
I never thought this would happen. 42 episodes. This is the first time I have officially gotten somebody to change their rating for the better. I know I'm taking all the credit.
Hey.
The movie, it's not like the movie didn't work.
I mean, hey.
I know you of all people.
We were bringing, first of all, you mischaracterized me. These people, I love movies. I prefer them to be, well written and entertaining. Just because I spend 90 minutes watching something doesn't make it good. So I gave this a 3 out of 5. I was like, that's fine. It's a movie. I'm having it on the background. No nostalgia for it. I'm going to bump it up to a 3.5.
Hey,
3.5 is like, those are my solid movies. Those are
a good movie.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take it. What do I have this at? I got this at an 8 out of 10, so it's a great movie. Honestly, it could be a 10, and I wouldn't even, if I had looked at that and saw 10 out of 10, I wouldn't even have thought twice. So, should I bump it up? Maybe. I mean, I probably should bump it up this point and watch this 35 times. If that's not I love this movie, I don't know what is, right?
I don't know what is.
Yeah. So,
for you, this, I think, should be
10 out of 10. Easy. All right. There we go. We both did it.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
Congratulations, everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cherry said, the mom is a real one for adjusting the thermostat, breaking the lamp, and covering for Ralphie.
Right.
That's why she picked mom as her favorite. She's answering me right now. She says 9 out of 10. All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. And plugs. Tim?
Same old. D&D Sluggers. If you forget anything about D&D Sluggers, don't forget it's not a baseball team. Anything else, you can look it up at dndsluggers.com, which exists. I just forgot.
Okay. Jamil?
So, I think you should follow at Mara Wilson on Blue Sky because she's very active and entertaining. Oh, do you not have Blue Sky so you can follow Mara Wilson? You remember Mara Wilson? She was Matilda. You like Matilda. You love that movie. I love that movie. Anyway, I've got codes so you can join. So hit me up at J Rodman on Blue Sky. No one wants to join from me, so I'm trying to sell them on other people.
I got you. All right.
Seriously, it's so fucking boring. Someone else please join. We're not going to talk about the other site because, Nazis and other things.
All right. And I'm going to remind y'all to like, subscribe, share if you made it this far. Yelled at us online at SGBK Podcast on Threads, on Blue Sky, and you can email us at sgbkpodcast@gmail.com. And for Cherry, since she had to run, she has a horror podcast with her friend Kat called Keeping It Creepy with Cherry and Kat, and you can listen to it most of the same places you listen to us. You don't got to follow her anywhere, or I guess the podcast got stuff, but just look up Keeping It Creepy with Cherry and Kat. That's her plug. All right, you can follow me personally at Tiffron on Letterboxd and on Blue Sky with Jamel. And on that note, that wraps up our 2023 Christmas watches. Next up, we are going to do Rebel Moon. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon on Netflix. That episode probably won't drop till the new year, though.
Help me.
So take care, guys. Before the new year, though, we're going to drop our 2023 wrap-up special with everybody's favorite movies and all that stuff. So, see you later. Bye.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Hope you celebrate it safely and with all your family and friends.
Festivus.
Thanks for listening
for the rest of y'all.
Make sure if you enjoy it, please share it with your friends.
Bye.
Love you.